Hi guys, this is Tracy with Inside Pool Magazine. They called me the diva. Well, I've been traveling here lately. As you guys know, I went over to the state of Mississippi and helped with one of our tournament qualifiers. And that went spectacularly. They had such a good time. We look forward to our next couple of events that are coming up. Those next events will be the state of Missouri and the state of Florida. They'll be going on at the end of August. So if you have any juniors that want to play in this event, and it's the qualifier for the Monica Webb Battle of the Junior Champions, please contact anybody on any of those flyers or get in touch with me, and I'll let you know how to get in on one of those tournaments. Well, coming up next, I have a young gun coming out of Wisconsin. This kid's got one incredible Fargo. He's also joined by his mentor and his coach, Mason Koch. Coming up next, guys, I'm going to run his video as soon as I can find it. The diva's a little frazzled this afternoon. His name is Kaden, and he is one fantastic kid. Check out this video. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Kaden, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kaden Hillman. I'm from Wisconsin, and I have a 494 Fargo rating.
What a big Fargo for a 13-year-old. Welcome to the show. And Mason, could you introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, I'm Mason Cook. I'm just a player, but I've coached him since he has kind of started in the game. So I'm just here as a sideline.
Okay, awesome. Well, I guess I could ask you, Mason, how do you think he fares at some of these events? You know, with the mental aspect to the game, it's kind of draining, especially for a young gun. Usually you have a lot more issues with your younger kids, like 10 and under. How has Kaden fared over the years of you coaching him with these long grinds, especially like the JIC and the VEF?
Very good. He's made it easy, I think, because like you said, it is a difficult thing. You know, he's quiet, so you know a lot of the questions come from like behind the scenes, but he's such a strong-willed kid, you know, so he can handle the competition in a way that drew me to him in the first place, of kind of just wanting to mold and help mold and get him to where he wants to get. So
awesome. How many years have you been coaching, Kaden?
Been probably 5 or 6 now.
Wow. So you got started early, did you?
Yeah, my dad's the owner of the Mad Apple here in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Huge shout out to Mad Apple. We appreciate you guys. You guys have been doing a fantastic job up there in Wisconsin for the juniors, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, and so he was part of our original junior program, and just from there we've continued to whatever direction he wants to go, and this is where it's gotten him so far. So
awesome. So I have a couple of questions for Kaden right quick. And Mason, if you have anything to add, please feel free to jump in.
okay.
Kaden, how old were you when you first got started?
I was about 8, I would say. I was maybe about to turn 9. So
what drew you to the sport?
I don't know. My parents got a pool table for fun, and I just started playing from there, and it was a fun thing that I could do.
Awesome. Did you notice something different about Kaden versus some of the other kids that you've been around, Mason?
I did. So the first time that I met Kaden, the business was just opening up, and I was in practicing. We only had a few tables in there at the time, and he walked right up to me and he was like, do you want to play? I just thought it was really cool. A lot of adults wouldn't approach me like that.
Right.
So I thought it was sweet. I didn't take it easy on him. I said, yeah, we can play. But I broke and ran. And then first thing he said was, you want to play again? And I just thought that was a really cool kind of mentality coming from, at the time, he was, like you said, maybe
8 or 9.
9 or 10.
That's pretty sporty. That takes a lot of nerve there, bud.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Oh my gosh. Who has been your biggest motivator so far, Kaden?
I guess I gotta say my parents. They've helped me with, I guess, most like the traveling and just giving me the equipment to pursue like my dream, maybe.
Right. There's something special about a junior player that's a little different than most children. I mean, I've met a lot of young baseball players and, young soccer players, but there's something unique about billiard players. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but there's definitely something unique.
I second your opinion.
It's so much math involved, mathematical equations when it comes to pool that the younger generation catches on quite quickly.
Yeah.
Versus, I've played pool off and on most of my life, but when I started getting serious about it, I was in my 30s, and it's a little harder to learn all of that stuff when you're a little older, but when you're younger, it's almost like they're sponges.
Yeah, it's a very wild thing. So
Right.
cool.
And it sticks.
Yeah.
Mason, how old were you when you first started playing?
I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
around the same age, I guess, roughly.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Kaden, do you have a favorite professional player? And if so, why?
I guess Mason Cook is like the first one that comes to mind.
I hear a lot of good things about Mason. So
yeah. I guess I don't know. He's a local pool player from Wisconsin. He's pretty fun to hang around.
Really, a little personality there. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot to pick from too.
There, I hear Wisconsin's pretty heavy with the pool players. I can't wait to see what you guys' qualifier turns out to look like.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be a big one. That's going to be one massive event up there.
Yeah, and we really, Kaden isn't obviously the only player from our area. Will being on, I think, what was that, last week? He's got such potential at the age that he's at. And there's so many kids that maybe haven't taken it to the spot of being super serious, but have such potential if they'd like to. And we're always open for that being the case. So
awesome. So you got a big following of junior players in your area?
We've tried to run a junior league every year since we've opened. And we've had decent results kind of for just being how we're not like small town, but we're not like Milwaukee or something, we're a very medium sized. And I think we've gathered a good amount of interest from people in our area. Kids in our area. So
awesome. Well, hopefully once the last 3 tickets are revealed, and I revealed Kelly Mayman today. So once the final 2 tickets are revealed, then I think you'll get a bigger fill up for the tournament. So Kaden, I hope you decide you're going to play in that, sir, if your name's not drawn.
Okay, for sure.
All right. So Mako Tips is in the house. This is the founder of our BSF Foundation, Eddie Altman. Welcome, Eddie. Welcome. He wants to know, what is your next tournament, Kaden?
Maybe that one. Right?
Yeah, it'd probably be that one.
The Wisconsin one.
Mm-hmm.
How many tournaments do you guys have out there, Mason? Do you have a big tournament turnout there for the kids? Is it weekly, monthly, every few months?
Well, as much as we try what we can for juniors, it still is the case that you got to go and compete in the main events. So we'll see him play at like state events or. We do run weekly tournaments at the Mad Apple. That's kind of smaller, but it keeps some type of tournament play. That's important.
So there's some momentum there in the state then.
Yeah, over just practicing. You know how it is. There's a different mentality. So that's cool. And then we've ran maybe a few one-off junior tournaments at the Mad Apple, and then I guess we do have a thing called Badger State Games here in Wisconsin too. So that's a billiard program, and they hand out medals for the top finishers. That's been going on for forever. It's actually a really cool tournament because it's the one tournament where you're reported into the state records as the champion. So that's a very cool thing. Badger State Games, that happens annually.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What has been your biggest accomplishment to date, Kaden?
There's definitely a few, but just to list some.
What is your favorite one? The best one ever?
Favorite. It's probably when I got the Brendan Crockett Award at the VEF Nationals in Vegas this year.
What year was that?
This year.
This year? Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. That's pretty good. That was probably one of the pictures that I stole of yours.
Probably.
So all the photographs that are on the video of Kaden, those are not mine, guys. So you'll have to get in touch with Kaden to find out who took those fantastic photos of him. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. What has been your biggest lesson so far?
Keeping like a strong, I guess, having breaks from pool. So you always want to have like a good attitude.
Right.
So you take some breaks and just step away for a little bit.
That's extremely important. I believe Joey Gray had mentioned, if you're going to have a moment, have it and then get rid of it. You get 3 seconds and that's it. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's some pretty good advice. I might need to take that from time to time. I work in customer service, and I did used to work in a pool room. And trust me, you have those moments quite often.
Yeah.
Probably been my best lesson about taking a break from pool ever. After high school, do you intend on furthering your education, or have you no plans right now?
As of right now, I don't have much of a plan on that. I guess right now I'd be playing pool, but.
All right. Good answer. I wouldn't expect you to know right now, actually. That's one of those, let's see what they have to say kind of questions. Yep. That's a mom question, really. That's really what that is. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Have your grades ever suffered from your tournaments or practices?
I guess with my parents being like more, they want my grades to be better. So no, my grades stay pretty good. Pretty consistent.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One thing about pool is you never know from one year to the next if it's going to make you money or if it's not. So it's best to have a fallback plan just in case. It's like, I really don't want to be a firefighter today, but I have to pay my rent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. How have you handled the pressures associated with pool so far, Kaden? How do you feel like you do when you're at these tournaments?
I feel like I handle it pretty good. I guess there's definitely moments where you, get you can get upset with yourself, but
we all do that.
Yeah.
I bet Mason's had a moment or two in his career as well.
Fun.
So you're forgiven. You're forgiven. Mm-hmm. The one thing I think we need to focus on mainly is teaching our youth how to handle those pressures. And that's the reason why you have coaches like Mason. They've been there and they're still doing that. And the one thing about being a human is you learn something every day, and to better yourself is one of those things you're constantly going to do. So kudos to you, kiddo. You're doing good. You're doing
Thank
great.
you.
Do you currently have a practice regime that you do on a daily?
I guess right now I'm trying to get around like 2 hours a day, which that's including, I guess, like drills and breaking and just working on like all components of me.
Okay. Nice. Very good. Very good. How many hours a week do you think you practice?
It's probably around like 12.
Okay.
I try to
That's
get
pretty
even
impressive.
more than 12, but
Impressive. Do you practice right before an event more or less?
I try to practice more just so I can get more things worked out just say before.
Good. Great answers. I love those answers. Honest. I like honest answers. Do you feel the junior players have the support they need from the media, the tournament directors, the venues? Do you think we're doing everything that we can to help you juniors out, or do you think we can do more?
I guess I think that there could maybe be a couple more tournaments around like more states, because right now you have to travel to get to tournaments, and
Right.
get expensive, especially.
It really does. Okay. Mason, what do you think? Do you think the media and the venues and the tournament directors, do you think we're doing enough for the kids, or do you think we could do more?
I think we can always do more. I think the sport maybe is slowly getting more credit, though. So I think everybody involved, there's a lot of positivity happening in the game. Right. And so I think in both ways, there's yes and no's. But I think it's really great, all of the stuff happening today for the youth. And if we can keep it up, then that's, I think, the direction we all would like to go, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, I realized that, I grew up in a time where it wasn't cool for a girl to be in a pool room. And we had a little diner that had a pool table. And after school, that's where we would go. We'd have French fries and hit pool balls on this carpeted valley table with pockets the size of buckets. And, back then, I think it would have benefited me, especially because I was a girl and I was curious about the game, to have somewhere for me to go, someone to say, you know what, we have a place for kids to go. And that's a lot of the reason why I'm doing this, because we didn't have that when I was younger. Now, we did have places that we could sneak into. When we were 16, 17. And it was nice, but we had actual pool rooms back then, which was, they would hand you a rack of balls and you play per hour, and there were vending machines with Cokes and snacks in it. And you had a cue maker in the back that would work on tips and whatnot. So we did have old school pool rooms back then. It's just hard for the kids to get there, especially if it was a half an hour away or so. So that was a lot of the reason why, I wanted to start doing this. So the kids have a voice. It's very important to me that all of our junior players have the opportunity to say, we need things. And if this is the way we're going to do it, and, it seems to be working. I had somebody say, you know what do the kids need for a Moscone Cup? And voila, it happened. Yeah. So hopefully we can get more tournaments. I would love to see us to have some kind of state tournament, and then all of us come together with all the top winners for that, to have one big playoff. It would be fantastic to have all the states involved. And I think we can accomplish this as long as we keep poking the bear.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see.
Well done on your end, Tracy. It's very cool to see all that you've done. So
I don't feel like I've done that much. Everybody keeps saying that. I don't feel like I've done that much. I don't know if that's me being humble or me just not seeing the progress. Being from my end, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I'm trying to do more.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what else can I jump into? Let me find something else. And
Right.
Mason, I'm sure you know this as working in a pool room, that your family owns. It's like you never feel like you're doing enough, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. You've hit
It's
it
like,
right in the nose.
it's like I've got 5 minutes. I've got to find something else I could possibly do to
Yeah.
help billiards in general. Our sport is dwindling. We don't see as many top players coming out of the United States like we used to. It's not like it was when Rodney Morris and Earl Strickland and Efren Reyes, all those spectacular players were just running the circuit, and everything was crazy with $100,000 for payouts and that kind of thing. So hopefully we can get back there, and hopefully sooner or later, and hopefully during Kaden's reign in the billiard community.
Hopefully. That'd be
I would love to see you have a big check for $100,000. Love it. Absolutely. I'm sure your parents would too. It would pay off some things.
Yeah.
Buy you a really nice car.
Yeah, for sure.
What advice would you give to newcomers to the game of billiards? Say a little kid walked up and said, I watched you play on a stream. How do I use this cue? What would you say?
I guess I'd say have fun with it first, and then learn more, I guess, for it. So then
Awesome.
you work on like the standard techniques.
Good answer. I like that. I really like that. Kaden, do you play any other sports besides 9-ball and 8-ball?
I've played one pocket with Mason. I've tried bank pool, and then I'm sure that there's a couple more I'm just not thinking of, but them are like the
Mason,
main.
how many of these other games have you been helping him with?
Well, for a while he was on a kick where he'd come and ask me to play bank pool, like probably every time I saw him, instead of being 9-ball or something.
Right.
Are you sure you want to play bank pool? But I like the game too, so we played that for hours.
Are you pretty good at it, Kaden?
What's that?
Are you pretty good at it, Kaden? How are you at banks?
I'd say I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. What do you think, Mason? Is he pretty good?
He impresses me, but that's I have a biased spot, but he makes some real solid. He's always good on his form, so I think like introducing new games is a cool way to, even for me, like if I can find different things to just have your form, and just try and accomplish whatever that goal might be.
Absolutely. Nice. I know I watched D'Angelo Spain and Frank Spain play 14.1 or straight pool, and that was pretty impressive. That kid brought his game to his dad for sure. Do you play?
I've seen his videos. Yeah, he's doing good.
He's a little monster. Kaden, do you play any straight pool?
Not very often, no.
I played 14.1 maybe twice. It seemed like just a lot of work. Took forever.
Mhm.
I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm aging. Let's see. And the big question. Okay, so usually I just make up something funny for this, but I was asking the other kids. Say a genie just popped up and, rub that lamp and he pops out. And he said, okay, Tracy, you get 3 wishes. And I said, one of my wishes is I need money for kids. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to make it interesting for you. If I give you $100,000 and you give it to Kaden and you tell him that he can spend this money on anything but not himself, and it has to be in the billiards industry, what would you do with that money?
I guess I would spend it on opening more pool halls around like the area, just
Awesome.
because there's more options for kids to play in. Maybe even start like junior leagues like the Mad Apple has. Just then you can bring more varieties.
Awesome. Very nice. I like that. Well, what all of my viewers have been waiting for. What is in your case, sir?
In my case, I have my my playing cue, which is a pea shower. I'm sponsored by Pea Shower Cues, custom cues. They're right out of Green Bay. So I have a playing cue that's pea shower, and then I have my pea shower break cue, a pea shower jump cue, and then a pea shower, a couple gloves, some town chalk.
I was about to ask, cause Nick's gonna ask me, what kind of chalk does he have? I was like, all you care about is the chalk, Nick.
He turned me over.
Yeah.
He converted me to.
I hear phenomenal things about this chalk. I'm just gonna have to buy a piece of that chalk just so I can say I have a piece.
I'm in on it now. Yeah, I love it.
But apparently it has to be pink because my friend from Tennessee had a pink cube of chalk, and he said, "Look how neat this is," and he's like pulling the tape off of it and everything.
Perfect.
I had no idea. Right? He said, "See, it's perfect every time."
Yeah.
Impressive chalk you have there, Kaden.
Thank
Well,
you.
another question for you, sir. Would you like to show us what you got?
Sure.
All right. Caden's going to get on that table and he's going to show us a couple of his shots that he makes. And Mason is going to explain a couple of things to us. This is the first time we actually have a coach on that can help us out with a couple of things. So if anyone in our audience would like to ask Mason Cook about any of these shots that Kaden is about to put on for us, please feel free and he'll answer any of those questions for you, and Kaden will as well. Actually, I would like to see one of your drills if you don't mind, Mr. Kaden.
Sure.
Is this something that you taught him, Mason?
I think so. I think I've taught him some drills, but he actually taught me the other day. There's this website called poolbilliard.co.
Mm-hmm.
Poolbilliards.co. It's got a ton of drills on it.
Awesome.
And I started using that for myself, so he takes a lot of direction for his drills.
Cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that from Mason. If you guys are looking for a fantastic place to get drills from, you will repeat that again at the end of the segment. That way you guys have that information.
Okay. I do this one pretty often, so yes, there can be some mistakes, but I do this one pretty often.
Except for we could be here for hours. Yeah. This is the benefit of drills. You just set them up again and again.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Kaden, did you learn these from that web page?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Could you repeat that for us again, Mason, so the audience can write that down?
Sure. Yeah. It's called poolbilliards.co.
And pool fans, Mason will be on Thursday. Have Landon on to to do his acceptance for his invite into the Monica Webb Battle of the Junior Champions, and then Mason will give us a interview and show us a few of his techniques on Thursday. So don't miss that podcast. And that will be our billiard talk with Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. I'll be excited for that.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
I set it up all over again.
Awesome. What does he have a particular shot that you've been extremely proud of him making, Mason? Is it something that he had worked on that he finally perfected?
I think the things that I like to see are the times like he had played in a state final for the B division. It was with the adults, and just he had to double dip the player, so he was on the lost side. He had to beat him 2 sets, and he actually was down quite a bit. I think you were maybe like 3 or 4-1 in a race to 5. And just his composure, I think, is his key, positive trait for what he does. It helps him get through a lot. So he's not often one to be jumping up on his form or anything like that. So it was just really cool to see some of when he's in his competitive mode, how he can kind of turn the little corners that you have to do when you're in tournament play, when you're in a match, and you gotta just kind of adjust by half a tick. It's never a lot. It's just like this little amount. So that's kind of the coolest stuff for me, is to see. It's not maybe a particular shot. It's more just the adaptivity to the game and things like that. So. We often, if it's a bigger tournament, I tend to come to his house, and we'll be playing drills for a while. We like to do the Mighty X drill, where you set them in straight up.
Right. If I'm not badly mistaken, didn't I see Jason Shaw or Darren Appleton doing that? Or maybe it was Christina.
Yeah, they all do. It's a very common drill. And a really strong one, just again for the fundamentals. So we like to do that for a long time, I guess, if it's allowed. So and then otherwise just kind of work on, and that's for everybody, I think, is kind of you should take and find the things that you might not be so strong with in competition, and then really like nitpick them when you're by yourself, so we'll adjust the break. Break is the big thing a lot of the time. So and just keeping creative, I guess, with the way that you practice is what I try to,
Right. Okay. Kaden, is there a particular shot that you're famous for?
I don't think right now I'm famous for a particular shot. Mason?
No, not really. I mean, he can jump. He can masse. He's hit some good.
With a Fargo as high as he has at his age, he can do quite a few things, actually.
Yeah.
Couple.
How many tournaments do you think you've been in your career so far, Kaden? Over 20, do you think?
Yes, definitely.
Way over 20. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I got this all day long.
Including weeklies, maybe like 100.
Well, including the weeklies at the Mad Apple, I'd probably be over like 100. So
that's pretty impressive, kid. That's pretty impressive.
Thank
you. My goodness.
That's credit to his parents too. Like he'll be at a big event, and that there's a lot of great parents out there for right now. And so to see things that they'll give up to let their kids do that is really cool to see. 2 example though, like you'll be at a big event and then he'll be at a weekly tournament the next day. So it's like just a cool kind of ability that he's got. And again, there's a lot of positive examples of that in the pool world right now. So. It's great.
We're trying to make sure that we're giving the kids the most positive feedback and role models that we possibly can as often as we can. I noticed there's a lot of furry people behind you. So, with that being asked, I'm from the state of Alabama. So, are you a hunter as well, Kaden, or is that more Dad?
Yeah, I hunt. It's
Any
mainly
other
more
special
my
hobbies?
brother. I don't know. I hunt and fish.
It seems to be a pool player's thing is fishing. I've noticed.
Yeah,
Do you play golf as well, Kaden?
I do not, but I'm thinking about taking it up.
Oh my goodness, we'll have a whole slew of golfers and pool players. We'll have to have one of those what do you call those triathlons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll play 11 racks of pool and 18 holes of golf. Well, if there's anything else you guys would like to add, we've come to the end of our questions. Do we have any questions out in the chat room for young Caden? He would be more than happy to answer them. Mason's also here if you have any questions about Mad Apple Billiards. Anybody. Sometimes they're chatty, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
So you're heading over to you have a tournament coming up, and then you will be at the Wisconsin event in October. Is that correct, Caden?
Yep,
For
that's
the
correct.
the qualifying tournament, which is fantastic. We look forward to seeing you play well there. Also, Mason, when is your next tournament? Do you have
It'll
anything
be
coming
the-
up soon?
Yeah, it'll be the U.S. Open for me, so
Awesome.
that in a couple months.
Okay. Caden, are you planning on going to any of these adult tournaments? Do they even let the kids in to play in any of these?
Yeah, they do sometimes. It depends on the event. That's something that it takes a lot of research per event, to try and figure out. He tried to get in for that SBB Matchroom.
I heard
event.
that thing was done in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had people, as everybody that, and the kids that got into, everybody was there right on their phone. I think 2 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was it 2 minutes? They said anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. The whole thing was full, but I mean, they only took 32 kids,
Yes.
Yes.
just 32 juniors. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, with what we've got going on with the BSF.org organization, is that we can all come together and put on more tournaments for the kids. That's our goal. That's what our hopes and dreams are being founded on right now. So anybody out there that would like to sponsor Caden, reach out to me or Mr. Mason Cook, and we'll be more than happy to get you in contact with his parents. And he would be very extremely happy to have another sponsor on board.
Yes.
Also, would you like to plug any parents, grandparents, girlfriends, aunties, and sponsors before you head off into billiard world?
Sure, yeah. I guess I'd like to thank my mom and dad, my brother, and Mason Cook for coming out here and having fun, I guess. And then I'd like to thank P Shower Custom Cues, the Mad Apple Burger and Billiard, and then Double H European Skulls. They were my sponsors.
Awesome. What school do you go to, Caden?
I go to the New London Intermediate Middle School, so it's local.
Huge shout out to that local school, and thank you so much for giving an education to one exceptional billiard player. So you guys are doing a great job out there in Wisconsin. And on behalf of myself, Inside Pool Magazine, Nick DeLeon, and Mako Tips, it's been a pleasure, Mr. Caden, and we look forward to seeing you advance further and your name being the next face of the billiard scene. Shane's getting old. He needs to get off of there. I'm just kidding, Shane. I'm just kidding. Don't come back and haunt me or anything.
Gotta
I'm just
back it
playing.
up with that, yeah.
We're just having fun here.
Yeah,
Now, then again, that Joe's giant fish that Shane catches, you need to find out what technique he's using, because those are massive fish.
well, we've got a lot of fish spots in Wisconsin too, so he'll have to come by.
Oh my gosh. Don't even flirt with that, because you'll see Shane in your backyard tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. And I will see you, Mr. Mason, on Thursday.
Yes.
And like I said, guys, if any of you would like to sponsor Kaden or Mason, now Mason plays some pool too, and he could use a couple of sponsors. We all can use a little help. If any of you guys out there are looking to sponsor a junior or a professional player, please contact me at insidepoolmag.com, and I will put you in contact with one of these players. Well, it's been a pleasure, gentlemen. I'm going to run your video again, and we'll see you next time. Kaden, I look forward to seeing your name on that next check, sir.
Well, it will be there.
Have a great night, guys.
Thank
Yep.
you. Bye.
Bye.
I've always said it takes a village to raise a pool player, especially a junior player. But here lately, I've realized it takes all of us, not just the village. This young gun coming out of Wisconsin has been all the talk going on in Wisconsin. And Mason and Kendall Cook reached out to me and said, this kid's phenomenal. We would love for him to put his name out there a little more. And of course, I was honored to do that. With that being said, don't forget, guys, we are currently in the process of trying to raise funding for our jrbsf.org, which is an organization that gives back to our junior players. It provides travel expenses and also equipment like cues, gloves, chalk, that kind of thing to players who are just getting started into the industry and are desperately needing equipment. So please go over to that organization, and if you look to the very end of the screen in the chat window, I'll make sure I put that information out there for you. I'm going to run Kaden's video again. Sorry. It's been a long day for the diva. I'm run his video again here in a few moments. And I want to give a huge shout out to Mako Tips for making this podcast happen tonight. They are one of our sponsors. Also, I am wearing Clutch Shot apparel. So if you guys see Carlos Sanchez hanging out at any of these events like Vegas or any of these events that are going on, tell him the diva sent you, and he has some great apparel. Also, I know several apparel companies posted up apparel. Thank you so much for my pants. Those are the rockingest pants I've ever had. They are fitted for the diva, and they are also fantastic wear for women. So if you guys are looking for some great pants that fit snugly, that help with your posture and things, check out Posted Up Apparel. Also, Action 24/7, they keep the diva in gear as well. Another apparel company, can't beat them. Brutal Game Gears, another apparel company. Poolaholic, and there are several others. And don't forget Team Purebreed. Fantastic people, fantastic company. So I'm going to log off here and quit chattering, and I'm going to go ahead and run Kaden's video. Again, thank you so much on behalf of myself, Inside Pool Magazine, Nicholas DeLeon, the Nikon Kid, Mason Cook, Kaden, and his family, and Mako Tips. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See ya.